Well, students, we're going to set up a material to put onto an object so we can use it as a reference. So we could basically model against that in this view. So for our purposes right now, again, to see that, we want to, again, here's our front view. We've got standard wireframe. We can change that to default shading. We can default to facets. Hidden line. Again, this is not, you're not going to see it because this is a box with basically it's a face right here, face right here, face. So there's no internal lines whatsoever. But we'll go back to default shading. But the goal here, again, we'll go back to wireframe. There we go. Wireframe override. There we go. So we're going to work in this view right here just because it'll just be easier because we only need one view to do this in. We're going to hit the M key. It's going to bring up the material browser. Now, if you don't see this is the older version of the material browser. There is basically the slate material editor, and that's what you'll see more with like Unity, with Unreal. It's more towards the slate. We're going to just work the compact material editor. We'll bring this back up. And it's basically these spheres right here. And the idea is that right here is basically the material type you want. And we're going to use what's called GLTF material. And that is basically a standard PBR material. So this will come into Unreal, come into Unity. This is the material that you want. And it's basically based on what's called a physically based rendering. We're going to go through that. The base, we're going to use the base color right here is going to be our key. Don't play with this yellow, this white block right here. That's, that will be, think of it as like a tint. So if you make that red, it will be like a red tint on whatever material you want. So for our purposes right now, leave that alone. What we want to do is go in, and again, this is the object right here. We can just rename this to reference image clock. And then we'll go in, we're going to make what's called maps. All of these are different, are different mappings. For our purposes right now, we're going to click where there's none here, click here, and we're going to go to a bitmap. And it'd be easier to type in bitmap. And I know there's multiple of them. We want maps general. And then it's going to ask for a file. And for our purposes, basically, I am working on the desktop because that's where the file is. Normally, and here's the file that I want. Now, normally this file would be with your 3ds Max files, or a folder, like here's your Max files and there's a folder for the images that constitute the materials. That's how you kind of want to work in 3ds Max. Right now, for this purposes, right now I'm across my desktop and am not unified. It's okay for right now. It's just when you move those files around, those files are relative to folder location. So if you keep it with the Max file, you keep it or a folder underneath, a folder below, then the links to your files will be okay. They won't break because they're referencing things across your computer. All right, so let's go. We're going to click this. The one thing I did is I know that this image is basically about 2,000 units pixels across the bottom and about 13 units up high, and that's I'm gonna use a block that's basically 400 and then height of 260. So that will keep the dimensions of this image as it is. If you want to go in and make this a power 2, go right ahead. It just means your block needs to be like a square now. So I'm going to click open, and now it's made this map 1, which is the bitmap. We click here, you can see that, and again, see bitmap here. You can see that is a child of this reference image clock. And then we're going to go up here, and you can see here is the map. All right, so we're going to drag, what we need to do is just drag this onto here, and boom, and it's working. If it doesn't show up, show shaded material report, it's probably been clicked off. And this is an older version. This was not on by default. We click this off, you get this gray. If you see that, that's the button you need to click. Show shaded material in viewport. And you see now it's back. And that's pretty much it. Now I can go, if I could Alt W, I'll go back here. I can go, rather than wireframe, I can go to default shading. You can see that, hey, I've got the image of the grandfather clock right here. I can now model to it. And that's the big thing. This is using, and the idea here is to get the shape right. Don't worry about going into greater detail of like, there's like this detail right here. That's going to be material work ultimately in the end, if you wanted to do that. Or you can ignore that and, again, there's this inner area right here. There's like a door. You can see, right, there's the door. I mean, the door is going to be a polygon, just a cube by itself that is just has a material on it. This piece right here is just going to be a flat cylinder and another cylinder for the line and for the stick for it, and that's all you need. If you were to build any of these pieces right here, they're just cylinders with a little bit of detail on the end. I mean, you don't need to go into great detail. Just get the shape right, get the essence of the object right, and then don't worry about the rest. Like, let that handle the heavy lifting work. Let artists who are artistes make those prettiness stuff. Get what you want, how you want it to work, and then let the artist do their job. So that's what I'm trying to get across. Why do we using the reference image? So you can get, the default, you get the shape. You don't have to be precise. You don't have to be great. I mean, when you look at the up here, don't worry about the face of the clock. Like, these are the numbers right here. These would be a material right now. Maybe you do the hands. Maybe they're just part of the texture. If it's not a functional clock, then you don't need hands modeled. You can use that in the material. Or you can, and there's so many tricks to the trade that you can go about. So don't worry about the greater details, like all this decorative detail. You're not doing that detail, that work. That's not your job. You've got a clock that you want to bring in that's functional in a certain way. Get your functionality that you want in, and then give your prototype stuff. And this is what I would stress: you're building prototype models. You're not building production models. Let the artist go in and clean up your work and give you, the final assets later on after you tell them, hey, this is how I've built this and how I've structured it. All right, so this is, again, key, this video is about, the key is about using a reference image. All right, good luck.